Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here, and happy Friday. We are going to use the Light Seers Tarot to get today's topic. It's Friday Tarot Day, and we have the Lovers, bottom of the deck. And honestly, if you're not familiar with tarot, the Lovers is Gemini energy, and we just we've had Jupiter in Gemini for the last year and a half. It's getting ready to leave Gemini and go into Cancer. Um, we've had a lot of Venus Mars activity, and the Lovers can be about your masculine, feminine, whether it's your energy or whether you're the masculine or feminine in a relationship. It's the merging of the two energies. And I know the Venus Mars conjunction either just exacted or is about to. So, I mean, this is very timely. The Lover's card was originally about like choices. And with the Venus Mars activity, uh, there's been a lot of relationship changes. People may have been struggling in their relationships, either for a breakthrough or a breakup, just because of the energy asking us either to step up or step out. Is this going to become what we need? Is this going to be what we need? Or do we need to move on? We talked about transformation and change on Monday and how difficult that can be. But sometimes what worked for us at one point no longer does. And if you're in a situation where you're in a relationship where one of you is evolving and the other is not, then that chemistry, that connection, you're energetically no longer the same. And so then you have a tough choice of, okay, can this be salvaged? Is it worth salvaging? Was this just a lesson in my journey to prepare me for what comes next? I mean, there's a lot in a relationship. Now, if both partners are growing and evolving together, and by that I don't mean up each other's ass doing the same things, but growing as an individual within the relationship, because one of the things that I talk about in the book, the Get Your Shit Together book, is we are both masculine and feminine energy. We can tend more towards one or the other. If we can balance those within us and become complete in our own self, whole within ourselves, we are then in a position where we can enter into a relationship with another whole being. So it's not two halves make a whole. You're not a half. You're whole. You're a whole. One whole complete circle by yourself, right? You're not a half moon. But energetically, a lot of us are half moons. And we're looking for that other energy outside of us to complete us. But you don't need to, because that energy is already within. And that's one of the things working with the Carl Jung theories and concepts. When you talk about attachment patterns and how you behave in relationships, how your energy comes across to others, people can feel when you need, when you are seeking, and you repel them. No one wants to be sucked from. And so when you complete yourself internally and you are able to balance your masculine and feminine energies and become that whole circle, then you become two overlapping circles where you're two wholes coming together to create a third dynamic within the two individuals, if that makes sense. But when you are lacking something within yourself, you don't need someone else to complete that. You just need to develop that part of you, invite it in, learn it. And that's part of what would be called our shadow selves, the parts we've repressed because they were not validated, encouraged, or liked by the people around us when we were growing up or in other relationships. If you try to mold yourself into what someone else wants, you will never be happy because you're not you. You're not being you. And we talk about this a lot because what I focus on is authenticity, on personal power, When you know that you have everything you need within you, that you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and handle your shit, you're not seeking from other people. And believe it or not, that's when you draw people to you. You become magnetic because you give off the energy of someone who doesn't need. And it doesn't mean that you can't ask for help or you can't have people around you to help support you. That's not it. We are communal beings. We are people who need other people just for interaction, and we're social beings. However, when you come complete, people sense that. And that's part of that masculine feminine energy. And if you struggled in dating or in relationships, your attachment pattern, how you attach to another individual, your ability to come complete, or if you come in like a black hole, or you shut down and run away, that's a thing. That's a thing. And there's a lot of complicated dynamics in how we interact with other people based on our wounding, whether it be from childhood or adult relationships. What we believe about ourselves because of what we've experienced comes out in our energy. So if you have scars from the past where you fear connection because connection meant pain, you may have an avoidant personality or an avoidant attachment style. And I go into attachment theory in the book. It's a very complex subject. But if it's something that you've struggled with, being able to be vulnerable, being able to let people really see who you are, that goes back to the wounding, the shadow self, and what type of attachment pattern you have. If you're the person who is so scared that someone else will leave that you will morph into anything to keep them because you don't feel like you'll survive without them, you may have an anxious attachment style. And all of this goes back to how our primary caregivers interacted with us as children and how that developed in us our view of ourselves and the world around us, whether we were okay as we were and whether the world was safe to be in. And there's so many ways that that plays out, but it will absolutely, left unaddressed, affect your ability to have relationships, whether it's employee, employer, coworkers, friendships, romantic relationships. Any relationship where you are interacting with another human being will 100% be affected by your attachment style, your beliefs about yourself, and your beliefs about the world around you and the people around you. All of that goes back to childhood programming and is based on our internal wounding that has been left unaddressed. And in working through those things and understanding how those patterns developed, we create an awareness where, once again, our brains are moldable. We can change the way we behave. If you're in a relationship with someone who has an avoidant or anxious attachment style, if you learn how they view the world, because it's a very textbook type thing where many avoidant attachments people are labeled as narcissists, and they're not. They're not at all. They are so, so sensitive and were so damaged in their childhood that they just run. They run. It's not about you. It's about them. It feels like it's about you because like you're like, what in the what the fuck did I do now? It's not you. But how you express your if you are an anxious or stable attachment style, you'll scare them off so fast. And you'll think, well, that narcissistic asshole, the more they run, the more they care. Believe it or not. Understanding these things about yourself and about others not only helps you correct your own patterns to have healthier relationships, but it also alleviates you of what you may have adopted as a problem with you that wasn't your problem. You may have been doing everything right, but because of their attachment style, everything went to shit, and you were left thinking, what did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Why didn't they choose me? And girl, they, boy, man, woman, whoever you are out there, they can't choose themselves. And that's, again, we talked about that too. Why, when you choose yourself and you become whole, and part of that is that balance of the masculine feminine energy, integrating all of you, loving yourself, accepting the parts that people told you weren't okay, that you've shoved down, that became your shadow side because you're not living those parts of you in the world because you don't believe they're okay, which are the beauty of who you are. When you bring those back to life and you embrace who you are 100% without apology or explanation, because not everybody needs an explanation. Don't over explain. Stand in your truth and in your power and just be like, that's just how I am. If it's a negative thing, no, that's not just how you are. You're not dealing with your bullshit. Deal with your bullshit. And when you come back in a whole complete, like, if you're too much for some people, that's okay. They're not your people. If you're too rough for some people, if you don't have enough filter for some, those aren't your people. You'll find your people. And honestly, as I was going through this process myself, I realized that a lot of the relationships that I had tried to hold on to weren't meant for me. And as I became more of who I was able to walk through the world 100% honestly as myself without apology, because I attracted the people that got me and I got them. And like my girl is, oh, okay. So she's getting married and she came over this morning and we were doing wedding planning and she is a riot. She has zero filter and my guy has zero. We had a blast this morning because we don't filter ourselves. We're authentic. And when you can be you, all of you, around the people in your life, and you don't have to feel like you have to make yourself small or be someone else or put on a mask, life, you actually start living as you, doing the things you like, the things you enjoy, the things that make you sparkle and shine. And you don't have too much shine for the people who are meant to be in your life. And when you understand why you feel that way about the parts of yourself that you haven't felt comfortable expressing, when you go back to that, the attachment styles, the childhood experiences, the beliefs that you've held that they don't apply anymore, you start to give yourself permission to be you. And you find out all of a sudden there are people out there who are going to absolutely love you when you show them who you really are. And that requires vulnerability. And that's why it takes so much effort to get to that point, because we have so much garbage that we've accumulated over the years. And sorting through that is it's painful. It's painful, but it's worth it. It's like we talked about on Monday when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and becomes goo, and it's messy and it's uncertain, and they don't know they're going to turn into a butterfly. I mean, caterpillars don't come into the world with a little book that says, oh, okay, so I'm going to build this little cocoon. I'm going to turn into mush. I'm going to turn into mush. Oh, but I'll be a butterfly. Okay. And it's painful. It's a very painful process to get liquefied, transformed, and then even getting out of the cocoon, they have to struggle so that their wings are strong enough to fly. That's how they build the strength in their wings to fly when they emerge as the butterfly. There are biblical stories, so many heroes' journey stories that are the epitome of our journey in this lifetime. Every one of them involves pain and struggle. Pain is a teacher. It is not to be avoided. That's what we talked about, the emotions, being present and asking our emotions, what are you here to show me? What do I need to learn from you? Don't repress them, embrace them. Let them tell you what's important. That's another way, because that is your soul going, no, that was insulting, or that doesn't feel good, or, you know, and learning how to set healthy boundaries around those emotional responses by responding and not reacting. And as you grow through this process, it becomes second nature and you give off an energy. People will not try you, they will feel it. They'll know, like, ooh, weak people will avoid you because they know that they are not going to be able to stand toe to toe. People will energetically feel your boundaries. Life becomes easier, so much more pleasant. And because you're in alignment, you're vibrating at the frequency that draws to you the things that you want, just by becoming that whole version of you. As long as you're repressing and ignoring and shoving and pushing and, you know, what you resist persists. Feel that shit. Just let it roll. It's worth the pain. It's when you come out on the other side, and I said this on Monday, and it's so true. When you come out on the other side as the beautiful butterfly, you kind of forget about being a caterpillar or even how bad the cocoon was. It doesn't matter anymore. You're a butterfly. So these are all things that it's natural for us to resist pain. It's natural for us to resist change and growth because all of that requires effort. And if you knew on the other side of the pain you were going to be a butterfly, and I mean, okay, you may not want to be a butterfly. It's just hypothetical, right? If you knew how beautiful things would be on the other side, it's like going into labor and having a baby. I know guys, you've not been in labor and had a baby. Okay, passing a kidney stone. It's horrible. But afterwards, you're relieved and you feel better. Boy, okay, my examples may be a little off today, but that's all I could draw from in the moment. At any rate, when you embrace the pain and just go through it, you will not regret it on the other side. And I hope that in some way, as awkward as it may have been, this inspires you to start really exploring your truth and looking at the ways that you may have sabotaged yourself because of attachment patterns, emotional issues, baggage, things that you haven't addressed, or where you've not taken your mask off for so long you don't remember who's under it. Start finding that part of you again. Because once you drop the mask and you start finding your people, you'll never look back. You'll forget the ones who fell away because you were never able to be you around them anyway. And once you find that tribe that embraces all of your weirdness, it's all good. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.